Hey there guys, how's it going? Welcome back. This is the Elder of the Dadless podcast group. Today's episode, I was very fortunate enough to have a call-in guest for the first time. Lovingly, I like to call him Dilly Dan. He is Thieves Magic on Twitch, but it's great to hear from him and it's great to have him phoned in. So here's the episode with Daniel DeKeyrel, also known as Dilly Dan, also known as Thieves Magic. Let's get into it.
Yo.
What's up? What you doing, son?
How you been, dude?
I've been good, man. I can't complain.
Keeping busy?
Yeah, dude. 2 newborns.
Well, that's why we were joking about that. I was like, I gotta hit this fool up because he had fucking 2 kids, dude. 2 kids at the same time. I can't even imagine that.
It's been a handful, not gonna lie.
Well, both hands, bro. I get it.
Yeah, both hands. Yeah.
I totally get it. That's sick though, dude. I'm glad that you were willing to talk with me. That's great.
Oh, dude, hell yeah.
First of all, for purposes of the audience, we are on with my boy Dilly Dan, whose brand is Thieves Magic. Let's get that straight. First of all, where did the idea for the streaming even come from? And I guess getting into what you're doing now.
I mean, for streaming, it was kind of like I was bored one day and I said, you know what, that looks like fun. Let me see. I like meeting new people. I like making new friends. Let's just give it a shot. And then the name came from a book I was reading. I was reading a book called Thieves Magic at the time. And so, yeah, I just started doing it. It started growing a little bit. I switched my handle on Instagram to that. And then my Instagram was pretty much all Magic the Gathering stuff. So it kind of fit with that as well. That's pretty much it.
I did notice that at first, watching the transition from the tabletop to the streaming now. Or, I think you still do some tabletop stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't do it as much and I kind of fell off, but I need to get back. I've been meaning to get back into it and doing it more. So I have some content coming up where I'll be doing some deck teching and stuff like that I'll be trying to get on Instagram.
If you've listened to prior episodes, we've had on, I have one of our co-hosts, Jose the Dad, his brother, the Daddy Dungeon Master. He's a big tabletop guy and he's a big DM guy. And so that's one thing that I wanted to bring up with you was how far back do you go with tabletop gaming? Like where did that start?
Let's see. Tabletop gaming kind of started for me. I want to say I used to play. So I used to play Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and all those card games and stuff, right? Like, growing up, we all played that. And then I don't think I really got into tabletop gaming, like super hardcore tabletop gaming, Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that, probably to like the last, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years even. Like I really kind of I started listening to all these podcasts and it was like, I thought they were really cool. I'm actually working on a one right now for my kids.
Like you're coming up with a little tabletop game?
Yeah, well, not so much. I'm coming up with a whole Dungeons and Dragons story for the kids.
Oh, a campaign. That's sick.
Yeah. It's like going to be like the never ending campaign. And it's just going to be like about them collecting pages in a book and stuff like that. So I'm working on that. But like, I really love board games. I love all kinds of stuff like that. So I've grown more into it. I met a group of friends who play them a lot. And so they kind of help like get me into it a little bit more as well.
See, I dig stuff like that. It's the same for me. I think within the last... probably the last 3 years, I've been getting more so into these lanes of gaming that I guess when we were teenagers, like I knew it existed and I knew what it was, but it wasn't something that like we were avidly doing. We were out, fucking skateboarding and stuff. You can attest to that. And like we were doing hood rat shit, but
we really were.
But the realm of D&D and stuff, for whatever reason, didn't seem super realistic. And now, like, when you're old and you have money and you have the money to get into certain things, it's like, it's become more of a lane that I'm like, I get into these tabletop, like podcasts like Critical Role that I've brought up before. And I watch streams and different YouTube channels that host campaigns. Even things like, I've listened to audio dramas of, are you aware of the SCP files?
No, I'm not.
From the ones that I've listened to on YouTube, the SCP is like this underground organization and they govern like all these supernatural forces or whatever. People have turned it into tabletop games and these campaigns, and people role play as different roles within this deep like universe. I think it started as a creepypasta thing, like most
That's sick.
like most things. But I've listened to people's campaigns, and like some of them are good, some of them are bad. I mean, that's like anything, you know. This fucking podcast,
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like I dig these lanes like more so now. Like I have an appreciation.
Well, I feel
for
like
them.
as like kids, you know, we were kind of thinking like, oh, that's nerdy. Who wants to do that? Like, you know, like.
As
I think
we
you
all
can- I
cram
think
in
you
a
can-
fucking room and play GameCube and shit.
Yeah, but I think like now you can like appreciate the fiction and like the fantasy of it. Like I feel like as an adult, it's more our vibe now because like we can just appreciate it more.
Yeah, it's like I had a conversation with Jose the Dad not long ago. I got through on Audible. I got through the Harry Potter series. Obviously, like I fell off at some point, like in high school, and I think I fell off right at the Deathly Hallows. I think that was the last book that I read. Coming back around now, I have Audible, so I'm going through all these books. I've gone through the Witcher series and Harry Potter and like the Sandman's an Audible original. But I got through Harry Potter, and I was like, I'm so fucking blown away at Harry Potter now, like as an old man. Than I was as a kid. I'm like, I appreciate the story so much more because I think I have like the depth and the attention span to like understand what's happening.
Yeah,
Like I absorb a lot more of it. I'm
you know,
like,
that kind of makes sense. I should probably go back and reread that.
they're fucking
I haven't
nuts,
read it
dude.
since they came out. I was just a kid, like, and I didn't like, you know.
They're nuts.
But I read them all. They were all good. But yeah, maybe I should go back and reread them.
It's crazy. Like I think it's just the. I don't know, like air quotes, fucking like the maturing of the mind or whatever. But I just have like so much more of a deeper appreciation for stuff. As far as the streaming goes, what did you see first that you were like, well, let me start getting a gaming setup so that you could build your setup? Because I remember watching that as you were like building your setup to start streaming.
Yeah, so I first started my setup. I remember when I first was doing it, I had a like old laptop or whatever, and I was starting on that. And so it wasn't old at the time, it's old now, but it was new at the time. And so I had a laptop, and I was like, okay, I had everything I need. I had a laptop, I hooked it up to a TV, and I had my PlayStation 4, and I hooked it up to that. And I was just doing games on PlayStation 4. Didn't really know what I was doing. I was still like trying to learn and get into it a little bit more. As time went on, I started watching more people and getting involved in more people's streams and Discords. And I kind of noticed, like, I was like, hey guys, let me see your guys' setups. Let me see, do you guys have any, you know, I just ask questions. There's like a lot of people out there who have communities that are willing to help you. And so when I asked them, they would come to me and be like, oh, this is what I use, this is what I use, this is what I use. And I kind of just picked what I liked from other people's streams, and I used those. I really just started kind of focusing on my brand and stuff. Up until the kids were born, I was pretty much streaming almost every day. And then once the kids got here, I've kind of fell off on streaming, but I'm trying to get back into it when I can and do it when I can. As far as building the setup goes, now I have, you know, a dual PC setup with screens and cameras and microphones everywhere and everything. But just starting out, I started out with just a laptop.
I've seen like your setup and like I've referenced before, our friend Tony, I've seen his setup because he does a lot of streaming, and the guy's a fucking hobbyist of like many hats. He does all kinds of just random shit. He's going to pick up unicycling pretty soon. I wouldn't doubt it. He does everything, but it's one of those things that like I'm so envious of to see people have these things because it's something that I would love to do. But I'm like, I don't even have like the attention span right now to even jump on like a couple of games of fucking Call of Duty, you know? Warzone had an event where they did a crossover with Godzilla vs. King Kong. And that was the first time in Warzone that I had ever done like really, really well. And while I was playing, I was like, I'm placing like second, you know, in every game that I'm playing. I'm like, I need to fucking stream this shit. And it's like, I can't because I have no fucking room. But like I bought a capture card and stuff at one point. And I just kind of have it sitting because I'm, you know, I have no space to do it. But I'm so envious of like watching people's streams and watching people do these things that realistically, like for us, if this was something that was like tangible and around at the time, we easily could have been doing, you know, like we could have been running,
growing up easily.
we could have been running streams like years ago, you know. This was like at the peak of like, you know, everybody.
And then like it's weird because like streaming didn't really show up until probably like right after we graduated.
That's when it started becoming a thing. Like speed runs, I remember watching for the first time, and we were watching speed runs of like, I think like Super Mario 64 and shit, and we were like, how is this guy doing this, you know? And really, it was like, and then finding out like what a capture card was and what like watching people go live, basically like on YouTube. But it's a cool thing to see because we grew up in that early timeline of like of now where everything's progressed with streaming. And
I mean, I started off really small. I mean, like literally I had just a laptop at one point, and then it just kind of grew from there, and eventually you find out what you need or what you want or which way you want to take it. But I mean, you can even do like, I find the in real life streams are pretty funny. Have you like I've sat down and just watched people where they just record themselves throughout the day. They just like do normal people shit, but it's still super funny. Or they like say something off the wall that's hella funny. I've thought about doing that. I've thought about starting something like that up. Like there's all kinds of stuff out there. I think it's just finding like what you want to do with it and then just picking a point to start. Because like once you start and you get going, you'll find out that like you'll just have the drive to keep going because you want more and more and more.
It's funny, hearing you say that, like from having the podcast and stuff, I now look into these, you know, the different groups that I have that I follow on Facebook or on Reddit, and I read what other people suggest and other like tips that people put out on forums. And someone was talking about something in terms of like gaining a bigger following. And yeah, like people have advised go live while you're recording and record yourself as you're recording your show. I've thought about streaming as I'm editing the episodes. And like for me, the process of putting the shows together after we record them is like such a fucking journey for me that I wouldn't mind streaming that, because the process itself is like this long drawn out, this fight that I have with myself.
Well, see, so then if you're streaming yourself editing, you'll be more accountable to do more episodes. You'll grow your stream, but you'll also grow your podcast at the same time, because you have to be able to have that content to stream. But see, if you can go back and listen to yourself and think and want to hear yourself and you're entertained by yourself, then you know you're going the right direction. You know you're doing good with, like, you can take it to streaming. Because if you can entertain yourself while you listen back on your stuff and you know you're entertaining, then you know you're going the right direction for sure.
And I get that. The very first episode, the pilot episode, and we say it all the fucking time, like it's fucking chaos, dude. That whole recording is fucking chaos, because literally what it was is that I went on Amazon, I bought a fucking condenser mic, and we took it with us on a trip that we all went on to Disneyland. We're in an Airbnb at like 12 at night. All of the fucking guys, all the girls are asleep. All the fucking guys are out in the kitchen playing Answer the Internet, fucking getting just pissed fucking drunk, sitting around waiting for DoorDash orders and shit. And I've said it before, like when I play that episode and I listen to it, I know exactly where I'm sitting. I know where like our boy Victor was sitting. I know where everybody was in that table. And that's why it's funny to me, because I'm like, I can replay that moment. But for other people, I don't know if it plays the right way, because I've had people straight up tell us like, hey, I listened to like 5 minutes of it and I'm done because it's too much. And I'm like, it is too much. But at the same time, for whatever fucking reason, when people listen to the show, they find it's like someone will listen to the newest episode and then they'll listen to the very first episode. It's always a combination of like the very first episode and then a newer installment of the show. And I'm like,
this makes sense.
It's fucking, dude, but it's a mess. I'm like, of all the episodes, like, listen to something else, please.
Listen to the second episode. I got my shit together.
Well, yeah, dude, it's like day and night. It's a day and night fucking like comparison, you know? It's just funny to me, you know, watching things like this get put together. As, you know, I go down this list of like things that I want to bring up within a short amount of time, but like currently, because you have your kids and you know, I'm sure you're working and stuff. When you fit time in, what are you watching right now currently?
Oh, that's a good question. What am I watching? Honestly, I don't really watch too much TV. I kind of throw Twitch on in the background. I watch a lot of Warzone. It keeps me up to date on the guns to use and stuff like that. I end up watching a lot of big streamers. If I'm just in the mood, because I'll catch like these waves where like I'll go in and out of these waves of deep diving where I'll just binge watch nothing but anime. I'll just binge watch nothing but Twitch. Like right now I'm kind of in the Twitch zone. So because I play a lot of Warzone. And so now I'm kind of just, you know, it helps me keep up to date with what guns to use and not use.
To tack onto that, I've watched your fucking streams of Warzone, and you're one of those people, like other players of Warzone, that when I jump on, I'm like, why the fuck am I playing this game? I'm like, these motherfuckers, there was legit a stream. There was the stream that you played, and you were like, you want to see if I could get him from right here? And you shot some fucking guy that was like 10 miles away. And you were like, I got him. I told you I'd get him. And I was like, what do you fucking mean, dude? I was like, I get on and I get killed within like the landing. I was like, oh yeah, just watch this. Fucking cool, dude. I think like, so like to take it back when the crossover for Monster Island came up, my biggest thing was basically just kind of keeping into one location and letting everybody work towards like where
like wherever the circle pulls.
Yeah, where the circle pulls into like the very last point.
Uh-huh.
And so I was always like within the last couple guys alive, and so I would play second at least for fucking just staying alive, or, you know, for kills too, because I would lay and pray and wait for people to come by, and then I'd fucking gun them down. But I watch people like you play, and like with your group and other players that are like very tactical about everything. Like you get shot and you're legit just in your house like, oh, I'm fucking dying. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, are you guys surgeons? What the fuck's going on here? Like
it's just kind of like, I think like, if you have a good play group, like the number one thing is comms. Like if I'm running around doing whatever, I get a knock or whatever, and I say, hey, there's 3 guys over here to my right, there's 2 guys to my left, and I knocked 1 guy in the front. We know where everyone's at. We know which way we should take. We should go left because there's 2 guys, and then wrap around and kill the other 3. I don't know. It's weird. It's like we're all talking to each other, and I think that's like the key for how well we play together.
Like it's wild to see things like that happen, because it's so like everything's so analytical that I'm like, this is too much. Like I'm just trying to play like fucking Nuketown, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you know what? Warzone has become that. It has become a sweat fest where like you can't get on and play casually anymore.
It's for sure. Like there used to be the joke of like Call of Duty players were shit if they jumped on like a Rainbow Six. What was the fucking game that EA put out? Battlefield.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, oh, like if COD player comes on to fucking Battlefield, like, you know, they suck. And I'm like, Warzone is not a casual fucking experience, dude. Like, you're not going to just jump on and be like, not. Hey, let's fucking, what's up, guys? You know, we're hanging out. It's not, dude. It's so fucking, like, I've never had...
Keep your head down. Fucking look around every corner. You better be a fucking SEAL Team 6 up in this bitch like when you're moving around.
My kids walking in the room, and I'm like, get down. Get the fuck down. I'm like, they can see us. They're like, Dad, what are you talking about? To touch on anime, what have you caught so far? Like if you're you know, like you said, you're kind of in and out of like whatever you're watching, but what are you like what have you caught recently?
What was the one I watched recently? I watched a
hentai?
No.
You're like, not in a while. Not when my wife's in the room.
Yeah, not while she's here. No, it was a vampire one. I can't remember the name of it though.
Like,
because it's been a very long time.
Like Castlevania?
Huh?
Like Castlevania?
No. It was on Crunchyroll, and it was a brand new one. Oh, I did watch The Strongest Sage in the week with the Weakest Crest.
See, I've seen that show pop up in my queue, and it's like, you want to watch this? I'm like, nah, not yet.
It's not bad. I liked it personally. My favorite anime out right now is Black Clover.
God damn it, Daniel. I'm gonna hang up on you, G.
I'm definitely a basic ass bitch. All right, when it comes to anime, I'm fucking right there, basic as fuck.
No, or see, basic is the key word there. Shout out to our boy HD because he trolls. He's fucking like real cock hard about Black Clover. I couldn't get into it. I don't know, just something about it. But
I mean, I watched it and it was like, it kind of like once you, I don't know, like towards the end, like the last season that came out and stuff, like the fight scenes were just legit sick.
Yeah, no, that's what I hear. I've heard that like I don't know if it's the production company or whatever it may be, that there's like a split that you can clearly see midway through the series. I don't know. I couldn't get into it, but at the same time, a lot of the anime that I watched was like I caught up with Attack on Titan. I rewatched the whole series, which it's been fucking great. Watched Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, and
I watched all those. I really like those.
And
I'm a huge fan of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh yeah, dude. It's I still haven't seen the movie. Fuck me, but waiting, keeping up with One Piece, obviously.
I could not get into One Piece.
What the hell did you just say?
God damn it, Daniel. What the fuck?
I couldn't. I thought it was too slow. It was just kind of meh. I was like, bro, this ain't nope. You know. I think, but okay. So I tried watching it though, like right after I got done watching Fairy Tail.
Oh, that too. See, you're already fucking. You're on strike 5 right now, bro.
Damn.
Fairy Tail.
Canceled.
I don't know. I couldn't get into Fairy Tail either though. But I think it's just one of those things that at the time, I remember when Fairy Tail was like, it was big. I want to say at the time I was like really heavy into Bleach.
Okay.
While Bleach was out. Basically whatever was on Adult Swim at the time. And I think I was like heavier on Bleach. Then all that went away, you know? And it ended up making its comeback like via Netflix, like early on when Netflix had first surfaced. But anime right now is a big thing for me. I don't think I've been heavier into anime since maybe high school.
It's hard for me to find animes to get into right now, and then finding time to be able to sit down and watch them. So for me, it's kind of like if I can watch a couple shows or a couple episodes, great, and then I'll do it like maybe during my lunch while I'm working or something. Like once I get home, the boys actually the boys love Warzone. They love watching people play Warzone. I don't know what it is. I throw on Warzone and like they're only 3 months old. They're not like old enough to realize anything, but they'll just sit there and watch the screen and watch people like watch these professionals run around and kill people. And it's like, all right, cool.
It's because they're patriots.
They like Warzone. They're gonna be fucking
They were
That's
born
an American right there.
They were born with Hawaiian shirts, dude. They were ready.
Yeah, Boogaloo boys.
Boogaloo babies. That's sick. Yeah, they'll you watch, dude, like the more that you keep them around, like the activities that you do, you know, in your spare time, they'll get more into that.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to turn them into like full-blown nerds.
My daughter's kind of in that stage right now where she's like, she likes anime, but she likes anime because of TikTok. She's never sat down and like watched an anime, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, she's gonna be 9. She's at that point where like that's where it was for me too, you know?
Oh yeah, that's like a perfect age. I mean, like I'm still debating on like I've kind of been thinking like, what's the first anime to get these kids to watch? I'm like, My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah.
Kiki's Delivery Service. To get them into it.
Well, that's like. My daughter's recently started watching the Studio Ghibli collection, and she's like, "Oh, you know, like I just watched Totoro the other day. I just watched what did she watch? Ponyo, I think, the other day too."
Oh, Ponyo. There you
go. I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." But then, you know, from TikTok, she's like, "Oh, well, you know, I was watching My Hero Academia." But what she means is like she was watching, you know, TikTok videos of fucking My Hero Academia. So I'm like, all right, you know, like it'll. I mean, obviously,
it's just piquing her interest. She's getting into it.
Yeah. So
My Hero's a good one to start off with anyway. I mean,
yeah, I feel like that's like a real, like a base anime, you know? That's like comparable to, I think, like Dragon Ball Z for us when we were younger, or like Naruto or something. It'll happen. Ooh. You know, as we wind down, what's your current schedule looking like right now for streaming? I mean, obviously you have your boys and stuff, but are you still managing to put things out every now and then? Do you jump on specific days?
I don't jump on specific days. I try and jump on like maybe once a week if I can get it in, twice a week. Diablo 2 Resurrected came out, so I've been grinding a lot of that kind of in my spare time, which isn't really like stream worthy. I do record myself so I can make some clips. I do want to start putting more stuff on TikTok. It's been a while since I've added anything to TikTok. And then YouTube videos on D2R, which I play whenever I can. Warzone's just been too sweaty. Like, if you take a break from Warzone and you come back, like, it's hard to keep your hands warm,
to keep
essentially.
that pace, yeah.
You just fall off so fast. So I'll play, like, a lot of Plunder in Warzone, and I'll try and jump on maybe once a week to do that. But as far as streaming goes, at least once a week. I don't have really a set date, but I should probably do that. Maybe I'll make it like a Friday or Saturday night. Just make that my stream date.
Hey, you deserve some time to yourself, bro. Hey, put them kids to bed. You deserve some time to stream. If you could recommend a starting point, because I've noticed that, you know, like the common streams that I've seen so far are obviously like the Dotas and Diablo. Then there's things like Apex, Valorant's a new one that I've seen. I don't know if it's a new game, but that I've seen. What do you think is a good starting off point for people that want to get into, I guess, more like tactical games like that, like large group games?
Large group battle royale games. I feel like if it's been out there for a while, it's most likely going to be nothing but sweaty. Warzone is probably a bad way to start off, I'd say. Apex, you could maybe get into Apex, but here's the thing. Apex, a lot of people left Warzone and went over to Apex, and Apex is getting sweatier now. I'm not really sure. Like, for a good tactical game, I would actually probably suggest Escape from Tarkov. So that one is PC only.
Okay, because I've heard of it, but I've never actually looked into like what platform it's on.
So it's on PC, and essentially it's you go in, you pick a map. You have like 6 different map areas you can choose from, and you drop into one, either as like a scav or yourself. If you go in as a scav, you go in with like some basic armor and a gun that the game gives you, and your whole goal is to loot and escape. And then you can go in as yourself with like all your cool gear and walk around and try and kill other players and stuff. Now, the whole idea is not to kill other people. You will end up killing other people, and you have to be tactical. It's extremely tactical. Like, if you're playing with your buddy, your name doesn't appear over your head. So like, you don't know if that's your buddy or not. So you have to talk to like your buddy and like tell him exactly where you're at. It's extremely tactical. It'll get you warmed up for comms. There's no hit rate. You don't see if you hit your opponent or not. So you kind of have to pay attention. It's a good way for you to like become aware of your surroundings. Because I think if you can pay attention to that, then like whenever you do go into a battle royale, like Warzone or Apex, you'll be a lot better equipped to play that. It looks super fun. I've had fun with it, but it can also be very boring at the same time.
What console are you heavy on right now currently? Or what are you using primarily, I guess, to stream?
To stream, and what I play on is primarily PC. Now that I have a secondary one.
Guy, huh?
So, you know, it happens. Sometimes you get lucky. I got really lucky.
You're like, sometimes you got to be an adult.
No, my wife ended up buying me a secondary PC, so I was able to use one for streaming and one for gaming, and I got very lucky on that. However, I wouldn't mind. I haven't really bought any new consoles. We have the Switch. Really enjoy playing the Switch.
I'm heavy on Switch right now.
Actually, the 16th, I'll be playing a lot of the Switch. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comes up. Yeah, definitely looking forward to playing that. So I'm hoping I can get some streams of that.
To ask you about that real quick, have you seen any growth from using TikTok? I've seen people suggest TikTok online. I mean, I'm just an old fucking guy. Like, I don't want to have to go through the process of getting into another social media, you know, but have you seen...
I'm right there with you. Like, using all these social medias does suck, but unfortunately, that is pretty much the only way to grow. So, like, I will say that just turning on your stream and, you know, going live every day, like, if you're not posting to Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, at least those 3, your growth is going to look very small for a very long time.
I believe it. Yeah, the social media, dude, for me, it's like I lock into like very specific lanes of like how I'm putting the show out. But social media has been the biggest thing for me, dude. It's like I run out of steam when it comes to that.
It's a lot because there's so much. It's like, I don't want to post to like 6 different things. Like, I gotta take the same clip and repost it 6 different times. Now, there's obviously ways you can get around that. I've looked into it. There's people that will actually, you can pay them and they'll do it for you. So as long as I sent them the clips, they were going to do the clips and do the videos for me because they do all the editing and stuff, but it can still be just it's still a hassle, you know?
Yeah, that's been my biggest like kind of hump in the road. I mean, I'm getting better about posting, but it's not like, I know there's people that, you know, have like on the hour, you know, like schedules of when they post. And
yeah, some people have that stuff set up to where it's like automatically post throughout the day for themselves. And it's like, okay, that's cool. And then also I will say using the right hashtags.
You know what? Trust me, I've looked into it, like the different kind of like tip sites so where people are like, oh, you know, like these are, you know, the hashtags
Trending
that
today.
Everybody uses, and, you know, don't try to undershoot yourself. Like if you use a hashtag that's in the thousands, don't try to be, you know, like don't undercut yourself and use a hashtag that maybe only has like in the lower thousands or like 100. Like
yeah, no, definitely not. I have like set up on my notepad on my phone, so like when I post to Instagram and stuff, I have like foot enders for my Instagram posts so I can get all the hashtags out, but like that's constantly changing.
It's like super progressive, I guess, you know, because as trends grow, like so does, you know, the nature of like what you're doing. Like it doesn't stop. It is like a very like fast paced thing. It's always because new trends are introduced, and like so you now have to keep up with that. I know it's a lot, dude.
It is. It really is. It's a pain in the ass for the most part.
I'm like, I just want people to like the show, please.
Like, just find my show and listen to it. Like, yeah. And that's how I felt with streaming for like the longest time. And then it was like, well, all right, this ain't working out. I can't just keep hitting live. I have to do something.
I mean, we're doing it. So we've invested time enough into it, you know, to put a cap on it. I'm glad that I got a hold of you. I'm glad that we were able to sit and, you know, just shoot the shit for a while.
Yeah, that was sick.
I'd love to run it back on the on Raised by Nerds so that we can get more into the parenting.
Dude, hell yeah, that sounds good to me.
But I wanted to make sure that we got this episode in so that we have a good starting point of, you know, like introducing you. And then once we jump over to the parenting, then it's like, hey, you know, now we get into some more shit.
Dude, yeah, definitely down to talk parenting and all that other stuff. Super down. You just let me know when.
Oh, definitely I will, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I had a great time. I mean, it was great catching up.
I'm here. I'm a phone call away. We'll do it more than once.
Sick.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, man, I appreciate the offer to being on, and I appreciate you guys, and I enjoy your podcasts and everything. So, you know, it's been sick. I've been having a good time.
I'm glad. Stick with us. Hang in there. To sign off, why don't you give us your social media and where we can find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Thief's Magic under pretty much everything I do or am on. I'm most active on Twitter right now, and it's actually Thieves_Magic. Just to put that part in there. But I'm mostly on Twitter, most active on Twitter right now. Instagram, we're working on revamping and coming back with more Magic the Gathering content on there. And TikTok will be doing some more stream clips. And I'm not sure what that looks like yet, but I am working on getting more content out.
All right. I appreciate you, my boy. I'll reach out to you soon, all right?
All right, man. You take it easy.
All right, man. Take care. Later.
Later.
Thank you for tuning in. Get us on the socials. Hit up our social link as well. Shout out to Milkshake. Shout out Buzzsprout. We have a top 5 list up there. Tune in. We get weird. Thank you guys, and we will talk soon.